We are about to go racing for the second time this weekend for the Ginetta GT Academy. Cars on the grid, and the green flag has just been shown to release the field ready for the formation lap on this nearly 3-mile long Snetterton 300 lap. They raced yesterday, in which Tom Balfe scored a first victory of the season from a first pole position, and he's on pole position again today. This grid is based on the second best time that the drivers have produced in the qualifying session yesterday, and Tom Balfe, the winner yesterday from James Nicholas and Jamie Cordell. It was a hectic start to the race with Mike Taylor getting involved with Harry Gamble's car, doing a bit of damage to his own and then having his own spin, although he has had 5 race wins this year, Mike Taylor. This is the grid, Tom Balfe and Harry Gamble at the front of it, with lining up on the second row, James Nicholas and Jamie Cordell, a relative newcomer to this year's championship. Ali Jafali starting 5th. He had a grid drop penalty yesterday, so it took him a while to get through the traffic. Mike Taylor, one to watch, then lining up alongside him with 5 race wins to his name this year. Julian Wantling heads the AM class. He is 7th on the grid, ahead of Emma Tomlinson, then Mark Elman and Gareth Thomas. Paul Thomas comes next on the 6th row, Mike West alongside him. Then it's Amy Tomlinson and Paul Livesey, whose son has just been out in the Ginetta Junior race. Peter Thompson and Lucy Hodgson will round out the grid. All of these cars, the Ginetta G56 GT in Academy trim. They've got Ford 3.5 litre V6 engines, 270 brake horsepower, 140 miles an hour at the top speed. They weigh in at around about 1,220 kilos, and with a point on offer for the pole position as well. It's been a good haul of points thus far for Tom Balfe. On board here with Gareth Thomas in number 77. Who was given 15 seconds worth of time penalties yesterday for exceeding track limits. So he fell way down the order to 10th place at the very end. We'll see what he can do today as he tries to get the warmth now into the Pirelli rubber. Lights flash atop the safety car, pace car as it is at the moment, coming down to the Brundle Nelson S's. And it will be a rolling start, so they'll put themselves into that side-by-side formation. There is Julian Wantling, former Brick Car Championship racer. Had a big spin at this part of the circuit yesterday that really cost him dear, so he ended up in 15th place, which, in fairness, isn't really representative of the pace that he's got. But we'll see what progress can be made in this race. The pseudo Gulf colours, carried then by Tom Balfe's car, the same colours in which Dad races his British GT McLaren. Sean Balfe is his father, who's been a British and a Spanish as well GT champion, GT racer for many years. There on the outside of the front row of the grid, Harry Gamble, whose brother Tom is here racing British GT. Other brother George we've seen in Carrera Cup GB this year, returning after a spell and indeed being a race winner in the British Touring Car Championship. Pace car then to the pit lane. Drivers make their way slowly up towards the lights, which are on red at the moment. If the clerk of the course is happy with the formation of the grid, he will give the instruction to flick those to get the race underway. We'll see who makes the best start now then as they accelerate away. Good getaway by Balfe from pole position. Good start too by Jamie Cordell from the outside of the front row. Up they head towards Riches for the first time. Gamble trying to make a good start on the outside line, but ultimately not able to go around the outside of Tom Balfe then with that novice cross on the back of the car. Into the braking zone for the first time, James Nicholas, number 24 on the inside line for second place. Gamble on his outside. And Nicholas has the tighter line, so he'll come off the corner ahead. Gamble's then third, but under attack as they sprint for the first time down now towards turn 3 at Palmer. You can see there Jafali in the green and white car looking to get up the inside of number 33, that being Mike Taylor, the former motorbike racer and event organiser. And Mike, 5 times a winner, same number of wins that James Nicholas has had, and he's under attack from Harry Gamble. Look as they come now into Agostini. Gamble pulling out, pulling back in, having another look on the inside. More heroics further back in the queue as they wriggle their way through the infield for the first time. 20 minutes this race will be over, same as yesterday. They got 10 laps out of it yesterday. That's the expected duration for this one as well then, as the cars now turn up through Hamilton into Oggies and then on towards Williams for the first time. Bit of tar smoke evident there, further back in the queue. That was 77, was it not? Gareth Thomas, the property developer, another former motorbike racer. And there, up on the inside line, goes number 33. That is Mike Taylor, putting himself ahead of Jamie Cordell now. So Mike Taylor making progress, and Cordell's going to have to think about defending soon, because Ali Jafari, whose sister Rima Al Jafari, you might remember, racing in this country and then going on to run GT teams and racing them herself. He's also on the prowl now, looking for ground. But for the moment, Cordell at least fending him off. Tar smoke and drama in the background. There's a bit of coming together coming into the S's. 2 cars on the grass. So bodywork flies. And there, rejoining, that's one of the Tomlinsons, isn't it? Emma Tomlinson facing the wrong way, but there was another car involved in all of that, so it may well not have been entirely down to her that she ended up on the grass. At the end of the lap, Tom Balfe is going to lead. And let's try and piece together who the aggressor was in the incident up at the S's. So Balfe leading from James Nicholas in second spot. Many, many moons ago, his mum had a Ginetta G4 road car. So there's been a family Ginetta link, tenuous it may well have been, over many, many years. Third across the timing line is Harry Gamble, with on the outside line there, look, Mike Taylor tries to be brave, tries to go all the way around the outside. Harry Gamble standing his ground, though, on the run now, up into the Wilson hairpin. Brakes hard, turns through the tight right. Mike Taylor on the outside is going to run out of road and has to give way then. Slots back in behind as they now accelerate down to turn 3. But you've got that long, long line of cars enabling the top 2 to get away. Another one that's dropped back on that last lap was Julian Wantling. I wonder whether he may well have been the one getting involved in the Emma Tomlinson incident. We'll try and see if there's a replay of that lurking in the system somewhere. But Emma Tomlinson is the one that came off worst, down to last place now. Mark Elman, number 88 there, losing out to Paul Thomas, who goes through on the inside line. Number 12, Paul Thomas, in another of the W2R team cars, W2R being Want to Race. And number 42 is the Mike West E3 Sport entry. Mark Elman at the moment leading the academy class, the relative newcomers, but he has had a spell racing in Brit car, so he's not a race rookie by any means, is Mark Elman. Up front though, Tom Balfe, novice cross on the back of the car. He's the man in charge, but only just, because James Nicholas is right there behind him on this second lap as they turn their way now, left and then right through the S's, with Harry Gamble hanging on to third place. In fourth spot, Mike Taylor. They're going through his number 11 of Amy Tomlinson. And the leader, Tom Balfe, trying to extend that margin. Again, it's not easy so to do. But as they swoop round the right-hander of Coram and head into the left-hander of turn 12 now, up towards the end of the lap. It's looking pretty good, this for Balfe at the moment. He did the fastest lap of the race, of course, on lap 1. But let's see what a proper flying lap is going to be now. Over the line they come. The margin is 6/10. He's done a 2 minutes 8.1, half a second better than James Nicholas. So the margin just creeping up ever so slightly as they drop into turn 1 at Riches. Through it goes 77, Gareth Thomas. And this is the view on board as he accelerates now up towards Wilson. Down the paddle shift box, turns in. Ali Jafari right there ahead of him. Tom Balfe's advantage, still a modest one, but it's an advantage nonetheless. I just wonder now about third place Harry Gamble, because having been able to shake off Mike Taylor there, number 33, can he do anything about the 2 ahead of him? He was fractionally quicker last time than was James Nicholas, so it's not beyond the realms of possibility. Yesterday, Gamble picked up a little bit of right rear damage early on when into the back of him went Mike Taylor. It just pushed the bodywork against the tyre, but it obviously didn't help the car. Today, damage-free, the pace a little bit better. There is Jafari going through, 6th, ahead of Gareth Thomas. Jafari, the Saudi driver, onto Bentley Straight now, and this is Gareth Thomas's view. He's almost in touch, isn't he? Almost close enough to think about making a move. Tom Balfe slides into the S's. They're all getting a little bit snaky under braking there for the corner. You're braking and turning at the same time, but all of them drifting into view, almost making one believe that there was some liquid down, but there isn't. I don't think anyone spilt anything. There's no slippery surface flag out, but just shows you how hard the drivers are pushing. Big, powerful cars as well, these. And given that many of them aren't that experienced, fascinating to see who adapts the best. Novice crosses prevalent on the back of both Balfe and Nicholas's car. There, Harry Gamble in third place, making his way now up towards the line. And he is inching closer to James Nicholas then. Pitboard goes out for the leader. Balfe goes by. And another fastest lap of the race for Tom, 2 minutes 7.1 now. He's 1.4 seconds ahead of James Nicholas, who's only 8/10 ahead of Harry Gamble. So that margin's coming down, isn't it? Second to third. Harry's brother Tom watching on from the pit lane. McLaren factory GT racer. Mark Elman goes through 9th, leading the GT Academy class. Whereas all the others are in the rookie class. So the less experienced showing the more experienced the way home at the moment. There is Harry Gamble, and having suggested he might be closing on Nicholas, now, if anything, that gap might be coming down again. Mike Taylor starting to edge nearer to Harry Gamble once more. This lap 4, 12 minutes and change on the clock still. So Tom Gamble trying to maintain the advantage up front, build that gap as he heads now through the left-hander at Hamilton. Short straight towards Oggies. Number 12 going through shot there is Paul Thomas. That's Julian Wantling. And behind him, Mike West. Looking at the livery, it may well have been Mike West that got involved in that first lap incident with Emma Tomlinson, who in turn has now been able to get past Lucy Hodgson. Whoops, somebody running way ragged there. Was that possibly Jamie Cordwell coming up onto Bentley Straight? Just about caught the moment as Tom Balfe accelerates now down to the braking zone. Cordwell on the back of Taylor. So those two together as they come down to the S's now on the outside line with the turquoise top to the car. Luke Cordwell, Mike Taylor fending him off. The E3 Sport car of Jamie Cordwell then, right there behind. And that means now Mike Taylor under attack. Into Coram goes 33. So Mike Taylor, 4th, dropping back from Gamble. And part of that isn't just pace, it's because he's having to defend from a hard-charging Jamie Cordwell, who yesterday was 3rd in the first of the 3 races for the Ginetta GT Academy. Up towards the timing line they come then. This is going to put 4 laps in the book, and Balfe looking as though he's edging closer to a second victory. 1.3 seconds clear of James Nicholas now, who's only 7/10 up the road against Gamble. And you can see what a difference it makes when the pressure is relieved behind, because now that Mike Taylor is having to defend, Gamble's got away. Concentrating purely on catching James Nicholas up the road ahead, and into the hairpin they turn this time around. On board with Gareth Thomas, go left now into turn 3. That short run along the straight down towards Agostini, there's that sort of right-hand kink within it. And then you set the car up for this tight left-hander. Gareth Thomas now right on the back of Ali Jafali, who can't really do much about the traffic ahead because, of course, he is having to defend now. Bit of a slide from Jafali under braking, but Gareth Thomas wasn't near enough to take advantage of that. The margin had widened between the two. Gareth Thomas onto Bentley Straight this time, trying to make up for those sort of 2 or 3 lost lengths really against Ali Jafali as the leaders arrive into the S's, into the second half of the race now. Balfe, Nicholas, and their 3rd Gamble. That's the order. 4th place, 33, Mike Taylor. 5th place behind him, Jamie Cordwell. And then in 6th place there, Ali Jafali, doing his best to go after the traffic ahead, but having to be mindful of exactly where Gareth Thomas is behind. Swoop their way out of Coram, down now into turn 12. Tom Balfe in that immaculately presented and evocatively liveried car heads up towards the line, looking for a second win of the weekend, a second win of the season. Yesterday's winning margin was 1.9 seconds, although the lead gap's come down a fraction, in fact, now, down to 1.2. Up towards Wilson they go. The Wilson hairpin that's effectively replaced the old quick right-hander of Sear Corner, which the bones of which are there. You can see the little cut through, bringing you for the 200 layout onto the old Revit Straight as it used to be, now Bentley Straight, but the corner itself long gone. So Balfe to Nicholas, that gap 1.2 seconds, and Nicholas lapping quicker over the last couple of laps. So getting his second win here, the Motorsport Ginetta GT Academy Scholarship winner. Out way wide, Harry Gamble. That may well get a finger wag from race control if he carries on doing things like that. The MSV circuits have these sensors and pressure pads that will take a photograph of the car if it gets all the four wheels the wrong side of the line for the track limit offence. That's then reported to the clerk of the course in race control, and on the totting up you get 3 of them and there's a warning flag, and then after that the penalties start to come. Mark Ellman there goes through. He is still a class leader in 9th place overall. He's actually a fairly lonely class leader, isn't he? Because Julian Wantling is about 5 seconds back, whereas the rookies have all got themselves together at the pointy end of the field. Now with 7 3/4 minutes to go as Tom Balfe comes through the S's once more. You can see the debris lying in the road from the first lap of the race, that first lap tangle. Al Jafali goes 6th out of bomb hole, and again way wide up the curb. Tom Balfe, though, no such dramas, comes now down to the left-hander at turn 12 with, again, look, 23 there of Harry Gamble coming back at James Nicholas. That gap was 11/10 at the start of the lap, and to the eye looks less. Heading up towards the timing line now. They will go through, and as they do so, Balfe clearing the lead, but there's drama. That's Amy Tomlinson, who looks like she's had a moment coming out of the S's. Another of the Want to Race entries battles on, but time lost. Possibly a place lost as well. We'll see at the end of the lap as Balfe already on lap 7 is up at the hairpin. There is James Nicholas in second spot. Let's have a Tomlinson update. And it was a spin into the S's. That was what happened then for Amy Tomlinson. No damage to the car, but time lost, and although able to rejoin now further down the pecking order. Race lead has really opened up, it seems, on this lap, because Nicholas now is having to go defensive again on Gamble, who in turn has got Mike Taylor not that far behind him either. Bit of a twitch from James Nicholas's car as he puts down the power. Mike Taylor has seen off the Jamie Cordell, I should say, challenge, hasn't he? That margin has widened. So there for second, third, fourth, onto Bentley Straight. And while they're squabbling like this is all playing into the hands, of course, now of that race-leading car of Tom Balfe. He's stretching that margin all the time. To the S's they come once again. This lap 7, and it's an expected 10 that they will do today. Yesterday's race got us north of 21 minutes, given that they had tripped onto that 10th lap just before the 20 minutes was up. But it's a long lap, of course, here. All over the grass goes Gareth Thomas. Fastest lap of this race, 2 minutes 7, just illustrating that it is nearly a 3-mile long lap. So there's a lot in it for the drivers. There, 23, Harry Gamble in this rather elasticated situation for second. He closes at one part, drops back at another. We'll see where Gareth Thomas's lap has dropped him to after his rally crossing at the S's. As up towards the timing line comes the race leader, Tom Balfe. 5 more minutes are on the clock, and this is going to put 7 laps in the book. So Balfe through, 1.6 seconds to the good. Fastest lap of the race having gone his way from earlier on. In the background, you can see the teams in the pit lane getting ready for the British GT Championship race. That comes up next at Snetterton today, in which there's a important Ginetta presence. Getting the replay of Gareth Thomas, just a little bit too much speed carried into the S's. Couldn't slow down the car, but wisely doesn't fight it, just lets it go across the grass, because the danger is you suddenly stand on the anchors and try and force the car into the corner and it just breaks away completely, at least this way, across the grass. No further grief came, although the splitter may well have copped a bit of damage as he lurches across the grass, gravel thrown into the air. There, third and fourth, dropping back from James Nicholas, Harry Gamble, and Mike Taylor coming back at him. And I wonder, therefore, whether or not on this lap, Nicholas isn't a little bit nearer to Tom Balfe. He is, but only by about 38 thousandths of a second in the first sector, so not by very much at all. Gamble versus Taylor. Mike Taylor struggled a little bit with respect to him this weekend, considering that he's had 5 race wins within the championship this year and has been very much the man to beat of late, having had 4 wins at Anglesey, dominated that last weekend. He had 1 win at Oulton Park, but he really was the man in form at Anglesey at the Ginetta Festival event. He's not been able to really replicate that pace or the results here, even though he's been there or thereabouts banking points. There he is, number 33 then. Mike Taylor turns through. Another of the W2R drivers heads down to bomb hole now. Lap 8, 2 to run at the end of this, we expect. Taylor goes by, Balfe stretching the margin once more over James Nicholas in that second spot. '23 up towards the line then, that's Harry Gamble, and we're getting track limit warnings for Mike Taylor and also James Nicholas then. Leader goes through with just under 3 minutes on the clock. So onto his penultimate lap now goes Tom Balfe, ahead of James Nicholas in second spot, 1.3 seconds the margin. There's 23 then, that's Harry Gamble going through ahead of Mike Taylor, third and fourth. 'Twas ever thus really between those two. Taylor pulls out, pulls back in again. No way through there. And there is this fight for third place. Now Harry Gamble coming out of turn 3, losing touch with James Nicholas because he's having to defend ever more vigorously as the race goes on from Mike Taylor behind him. Heading now into turn 4, Agostini. Elite Motorsport third, Harry Gamble. Fourth, W2R for Mike Taylor. Up front, Balfe still leading from Nicholas. In the background, fifth, Jamie Cordell there, number 51, trying to come back at Mike Taylor here. Be 1 more lap to run at the end of this. Tom Balfe having the easiest time in a sense of anybody. I know there'll be a lot of stress inside the car as he tries to hang on to win number 2, but he's not having to directly fight with everybody. He's got that modest advantage, although the real pressure now is not making mistakes. Mike Taylor making the run down Bentley Straight, I would suggest, has dropped off slightly at the back of Harry Gamble's car. That's opened up by a length or so as they come down to the S's now and into the braking zone. Out of the corner, flicks Tom Balfe. And another drama you can see in the background because that is Paul Livesey's car that went off on the previous lap and has not rejoined. So 31, Paul Livesey going nowhere, and with him being stranded like that, a yellow flag zone. So as the cars turn their way through Coram, it can probably survive there for 1 more lap. Mike Taylor slides from Coram into the braking zone to turn 12, goes left up towards the line. Past the pits, just gone race leader Balfe onto the last lap then with 40 seconds to spare. So he goes by and then now turns his way through Riches. Second place, James Nicholas, 1.3 seconds back, and that is the GTA leader, Mark Ellman, going through Riches now. Mark Ellman in turn, 9th spot. Number 12 then comes out of the hairpin. That being Paul Thomas down in 8th place. And for James Nicholas, he in turn now dropping back, it seems, into the clutches of Harry Gamble once again. But up front, Tom Balfe still looking strong. Third and fourth, Gamble versus Taylor. That's not done yet. Through goes Balfe, through goes Nicholas. Gamble third, fourth Taylor, and Mike trying hard as he possibly can here to get himself a podium result out of this race as they accelerate then now once again down towards the S's. But Tom Balfe, even though to the eye that gap looks as though it's come down a little bit, I think has done enough. Taylor, though, is trying to work out where he can have one last go against Harry Gamble for that third place. Out of the S's they come, past that stricken car of Paul Livesey. There are warning flags going for Jamie Cordell and also for Ali Jafali for track limits, but no penalties being offered up yet, with half a lap to go for some of them. Here is Balfe, 1 corner to go once he's out of Coram. He brakes, he drops it down a couple of gears, turns left, and now makes that run up towards the checkered flag, up towards the line, and up towards a second win of the weekend, a second win of the season. Tom Balfe looking like he is the man in the Ginetta GT Academy around Snetterton. Balfe wins for the second time this weekend. James Nicholas second, Harry Gamble third, Mike Taylor fourth, fifth Jamie Cordell, and then it's going to be Ali Jafali for sixth, Gareth Thomas seventh after his moment across the grass earlier on. And then for 8th place, Paul Thomas comes through, and that's Mark Ellman, who's going to be 9th, and to win the Academy class for the slightly more experienced drivers. In 10th place, it's going to be Julian Wantling some way back, ahead of Mike West, and then Peter Thompson in 12th place. Emma Tomlinson is going to be 13th ahead of sister Amy. Lucy Hodgson 15th to round out the order, seeing that we lost Paul Livesey a little bit earlier on. So round 14 of the championship then falls to Tom Balfe. Win number 2 of the season and of the weekend. James Nicholas taking 2nd place as yesterday, but a new podium finisher, Harry Gamble, today takes 3rd spot. So a good drive by Tom Balfe, and even though there was some pressure from behind, being able to master all of that, coming through for the win. Mark Ellman's happy with another class victory, and with 9th place overall. Mark Ellman for the SVG Motorsport squad, one of the smarter cars on the grid there. Lucy Hodgson has just completed the race in 15th spot, a little bit away from the rest of the pack, but new to the series, running in that rookie class this year. Let's confirm the way they came across the line then. Tom Balfe takes the race win ahead of James Nicholas, Harry Gamble in 3rd, Mike Taylor 4th ahead of Jamie Cordell and Ali Jafali, Gareth Thomas 7th ahead of Paul Thomas and Mark Ellman. It's Julian Wantling that rounds out the top 10. Mike West 11th ahead of Peter Thompson, and then Emma Tomlinson, sister Amy next ahead of Lucy Hodgson. The one we lost, Paul Livesey, over at the S's. So Tom Balfe taking that race win, and he took it from pole position. The car's accelerating away on that run down into turn 1, and although Harry Gamble tried one side and James Nicholas the other, there was no usurping Balfe. Pole to the lead, fastest lap, the perfect strike, all 3, as he was able to dominate the race and let everybody else battle it out behind. 2nd place falling to James Nicholas, and Harry Gamble having a busy race, trying to attack for 2nd, having to defend that 3rd. There was drama during the course of the race for the Tomlinson sisters, also for Paul Livesey and for Gareth Thomas as well. Most of the drama happening at the S's, but for Tom Balfe, no stopping him as he came home the race winner by a slightly reduced margin in the end of just 9/10 of a second. But win number 2 of the weekend, and he's got a 3rd opportunity to do 100% at Snetterton later on this afternoon.